Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, the Prime Minister claimed that Mike Duffy was appointed to the Senate on the basis of a signed declaration swearing he was a resident of Prince Edward Island. But if you look at the Declaration of Qualification, it doesn't mention anything about residency requirements. You know, questions were raised at the time that Mike Duffy didn't meet the eligibility requirements. We know the Prime Minister's office received advice from the Privy Council regarding Duffy's appointment. Senate appointments are the Prime Minister's responsibility. On what basis did he push Mike Duffy's appointment ahead despite the clear warning signals that as a resident of Canada, he wasn't eligible to represent Prince Edward Island?
Excellent. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister.
Again, Mr. Speaker, as I've answered on a number of occasions, the constitutional practice on this has been clear for almost 150 years, Mr. Speaker. It's disappointing now, of course, to see that the NDP are trying to make a victim out of Mr. Duffy, who faces very serious charges, Mr. Speaker, charges that stem after an independent audit and after a police RCMP investigation. At the same time, Mr. Speaker, the NDP, 68 members, face very similar type of indiscretion. Almost $3 million worth of taxpayers' money were redirected to illegal offices.
Deliberate
and I suggest they
misuse
do
of
the right thing and
taxpayers'
repay that money to the taxpayer. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Timmins, James Bay.
Victims, they really are out of touch. The real victims here are the Canadian taxpayers who are on the hook for that Prime Minister's patronage appointments to his pals. Speaking of which, the Duffy diaries raise all manner of questions about his involvement with Enbridge and the Prime Minister's office. The Vancouver Observers found Duffy had numerous meetings with Enbridge executives, and yet none of that's in the lobbying register. We've had the diary stating the Prime Minister was asking Duffy for briefings on his meetings with Enbridge, and yet all these entries have been blacked out of the diaries. So will the Prime Minister confirm that he did meet with Duffy on Enbridge? Was Duffy the Enbridge pipeline to the Prime Minister?
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Duffy, of course, faces very, very serious charges, Mr. Speaker. It's Mr. Duffy's actions that are in front of the court right now, Mr. Speaker. At the same time, Mr. Speaker, there are 68 members of the NDP caucus, including the leader of the opposition himself, who stand accused of redirecting inappropriately some $2.7 million worth of taxpayers' funds, Mr. Speaker. The leader of the opposition actually owes taxpayers $400,000. I would hope that he would do the right thing and start to pay back that money.
Yeah.